Welcome back to the News Hub here at WSJ Live. I'm Simon Constable. It's Friday, so that means it's time for the Wall Street Journal's Dan Neil to discuss cars. This week, it's a vehicle he describes as a quiet-tuned mega yacht, but it's still a car, not a yacht. And there he is, Dan Neil, joining us from Raleigh, North Carolina. Good to see you, Dan.
Hello, Simon. Even a dead cat bounces. Is that right? Is that how that goes?
Yes, even a dead cat does bounce. But tell us about the quiet-tuned mega yacht.
Well, I have to say that John Edwards, our copy editor's contribution to the headline. This is a very substantial, big, deeply baritone kind of car. And it's interesting because you get into a lot of cars and they're very high pitched. They're very musical. You know, this thing is just like, a slow seismic vibration. But it's a diesel truck, Mercedes GL, biggest thing they make, 7-passenger, an absolute beast. As I say in the story, this thing doesn't, come around a corner so much as heave into view like an iceberg.
Now, you said you got the test vehicle you looked at was substantially more expensive than the base model, and you call it the Russian girlfriend package. What does that mean?
It's the go-to joke. I've been doing this 20 years. I've never used the Russian girlfriend joke, so there it is. By 2012, look, these vehicles started like 62,000, but if you avail yourself to everything that Mercedes makes in terms of options and equipment, I mean, you can add 30,000 to the cost of a vehicle very easily. And you know what? It's basically a different vehicle at that point. It's a radically different segment, and so it's really to test one of these is a twofer for me.
Now, so how did this handle? Does it handle like a truck? Because one of the great things...
you know what? This thing won Motor Trend SUV of the year, and then, the editors were raving about how great it handles. It handles like real estate. I mean, it is just a beast. It does amazing things for real estate, but still, in all, it should come with property lines. But it is super relaxed, very smooth, and if you need to get across the country with your 5 kids, this is the vehicle.
So I'll go back to the Russian girlfriend package then. This isn't very sporty.
No, but it's very bratty. It's very show-offy. This is a class of vehicle, especially with the Designo trim, which is what the quilted leather. This is about really, putting out the vibe. And so, as I say, it's a very different than the package you might get if you're buying a family vehicle. But yeah, with the running boards and the crazy lights and the quilted leather, I mean, it's very mobby.
So I've got to ask you, I always do ask you this, how fast did you drive this, and was it on a public highway?
It's 80 miles an hour. I clicked along. This thing doesn't have a lot of revs there. It's not it's fast enough. It'll go 100 miles an hour, but it has a very train-like thing. And so once you get it going in one direction at high speed, you don't want to make any sudden changes. Like
stopping, for instance, I guess.
Or turning.
Or stopping or turning. Kind of interesting. It sounds more like a train, doesn't it, than
but it's a very elegant, gracious, rewarding drive. There's no two ways about it. They make a nice SUV.
Well, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Dan Neil of the Wall Street Journal joining us there from Raleigh. More on that in tomorrow's Wall Street Journal.